this is going to be about building a data analysis agent. This streaming is related to the Instagram live series which I'm doing, where I am building free AI agents for you people. All you need to do is just tell me what your agent is about and the description of it, and then I will build that agent for you, and then you can use that agent free of cost, no strings attached. So this is the very first requirement which came out, and so this guy is a data scientist and data analyst. So he wanted that whenever we are doing machine learning programs, very first step we do is data analysis. We have to analyze the data and then we proceed with the machine learning models. So there are a lot of steps which happens inside that, and he wanted to automate it by using AI agents. So this is a very helpful agent where, and it's mostly useful in most of the scenarios, because most of the people want these kind of agents who are in the field of machine learning and data scientist. So now what we are going to do, first I'm going to show you the demo of how this agent works, and then I will walk you through code block by block and explain you how this agent has been built. And if you have any queries, feel free to put it in the chat, and if you are not seeing it live right now, feel free to put it in the comments. I'll make sure that I'll reply each and every one of you. So good, let's not waste any more time and start with the demo first. The very first thing is, so let me take you on the code section. Okay, so this is the class, this is the crew, and we are building this using CrewAI. There are two ways we can use, of course, LangGraph or CrewAI. I am going ahead with the CrewAI. For now, I think I will remove my headphones because I'm echoing my voice itself. So first thing first, you open the new terminal. Okay, so you go to the CMD. Now you need to activate the environment as usual. We all know that. So I'm just going to activate my environment. Okay, not Conda. Conda deactivate. I will go inside this PowerShell. Conda deactivate. Go into my test project. Go inside the scripts. Copy my path. Or I could simply say activate here itself. Okay, so we are here. So my file is inside my test project, and I am using my test project 2 folder, this environment. Now I need to go where my file is. This is my agent which is there. I need to go there. So cd my test project 2 cd Titanic, and there we are. Now all you need to do is just run the file. So it's da agent crew.py. Cool. So meanwhile this gets all set up, we are using Google Gemini here model as a model of large language model, because of the token amount, it accepts a little more than the OpenAI. Of course you can go ahead with OpenAI, but this one here, it accepts more amount of tokens. And for the data analysis part, if the data is bigger and the analysis which we are doing, the reports which is being generated is very large, it is actually very useful that you provide the complete context to the LLM itself, and it is able to summarize and analyze the data which the analysis which you're providing. Okay, So now it is asking us enter the path to your CSV or Excel file. So I am using the Titanic data set. This is the very standard data set, as we all know. So I just copy the path of my Titanic data set and I paste it here. Now, so it says that my data set is successfully loaded. It has the shape of 891 rows and 12 columns. It is asking me that whether this problem is a classification problem or a regression problem. So this is definitely a classification problem. So you type C. Then it's asked me that what is the label column? That is, what is your target column and what you're trying to classify. What we are trying to classify here, we are going to classify the survived, the person has survived or not survived on basis of the different features. So you say column is survived. Survived. Cool. So it has initialized the data profiler and cleaner agent. After profiling, it told that preliminary cleaning result in a data frame of shape is 891 and 12. Now it has instantiated the EDA and reporting agent. So this crew, what is going to do is going to do the complete data analysis as what we normally do when we are doing the analysis. That is, you read your data, you see what are the missing values, do you have outliers, do you have skewness, you plot the different kind of charts, all the histograms you plot, or you plot different relation between bivariate, univariate, multivariate. All this analysis will be done by this agent. And after the analysis is done, it is going to prepare a report, and that is the report which we will utilize further. That is, we will provide this all the report being created to the LLM. So inside the code, if we see here what, so it is still telling us that, let's just check out this. So since the data is a lot of big, it has loaded the complete data and it says that high cardinality for this name, all those things. And then it says for the feature 6, this is the count. For the feature ticket, this is the count. Similarly, it is doing for every other feature. What is the count for each and every feature? And then we can also see there are missing values here. So, and then the feature embarked. First, it has plotted the counts for all those, and after counting, it has plotted the graphs for all those bivariate analysis. And it provides a recommendation that based on the analysis, there are some kind of skewness or category encoding name which is being required. All these report will be generated and finally will be fed into an LLM. So we are going to utilize the LLM's capability to understand the natural language, and it will provide us the final output, that what kind of um, actions you should perform. It will provide us the summary of that. So it has executed completely. Here we can see the crew completion has taken place. The crew agent has completely executed their task, and then it has provided a summary that LLM power agent analysis finished. Now let me minimize myself and let's read this. So it says LLM's summary and proposed actions. The file which was being generated was fed into the LLM. Let's just check out the file first. So this is your file here. Its name is data analysis report as this. It should be a .md file, not this one. It should be inside this. Yeah, we have the comprehensive analysis report. Let's just visualize this first. So what it has done, this complete report has been generated. It's a comprehensive data analysis report. The data was fed, it read the data, then it also did a descriptive statistics of that, for the numericals, then for the categorical, then it checked out for the duplicate rows, then the shape after removal of the duplicate rows, yeah, what are the missing values which are there, and all the percentages of those missing values. Then it reviews the data type, that the passenger ID is an integer, survived is also an integer, P class is also an integer, name is a string which remains as an object, or a string contains non-numeric values. So all this information is being generated by the agent, and then this information will be utilized by the LLM. So this is the data type of all your features. Then the initial outlier scanner. So it checks that are there any outliers there inside the data or not, and then does same for the categorical feature structural error scan. For the column name, there is a high cardinality, that is 891 unique values are there and may require spatial encoding. Then for the sex feature, there are just 2 unique values and checks for the inconsistencies like varying cases or typos. Then for the column ticket, high cardinality detected, 681 unique values. For the cabin, high cardinality, 147 unique values. For embarked, just 3 unique values. Check for the inconsistency like varying cases or typos, if any are there inside the dataset. Now, then it does the univariate analysis. So this univariate analysis first is for the survived column. What it is doing here, it is counting the survived, divided the classes, and then for 0 class there are 549 count, for the 1 class there is 342 count. Then it does the numerical feature analysis. That is, for each and every column, it is checking the count, mean, standard deviation, minima, 25% quart, 50% quartile, and then 70% quantile, and then maximum. Then also checks us the tells us the skewness and kurtosis. Likewise, it has performed for all the columns. So this complete analysis which is being done will be fed into the agents, and that agent is here. Okay, let me just open that terminal again. This one. So this is the analysis summary of the actions which has been proposed. So the complete analysis was fed into the LLM, and then LLM is proposing us the actions. Let's read this out. It says, hello, the data analysis report reveals some interesting insights about your Titanic passenger survival dataset. We started with 891 passenger, well characteristics column. The main goal is to predict who survived the classification problem. This it has gained from the input which was being delivered by the user. So here is a summary of the key findings. For the missing data, we found a missing values in age, that is almost 20% missing values are there. Nice. Then for the cabin, 80% values are missing, and then for embarked, a tiny fraction of value is missing. Now the report recommends that handling these perhaps by filling in missing ages with average or median age, replace missing cabin information with unknown, and filling in the few missing embarkation points with the most common value. It is providing us the recommendations. And for the outliers, there are several numerical features. We have 4 numerical features inside the Titanic datasets, which has the potential outliers. We will need to decide how to address these, perhaps by removing extreme values or transforming the data. That is, either you remove your outliers, but if you want that feature to be present, what you can do, you can apply some sort of transformation, that is log transformation in this scenario. And for categorical data, features like name, sex, ticket, and cabin are categorical. 6 is straightforward, but the others have many unique values. That is high cardinality. We saw in the report. So now LM is summarizing that all the report. There is very high cardinality, requiring careful encoding, example one hot encoding before using them in a model. Based on this analysis, would you like to proceed with the applying the recommended transformation to your data? Example, handling missing values, encoding. Then again, these are the summary of the key findings. Now it is asking that do we want to apply the transformations or do we want to skip the transformations? So if you say that you want to apply the transformations, it is going to go each and every column and it's going to ask you what kind of transformation you want to apply. Like for the very first column here, that original data frame shape is 891. For this particular column, about skewness and outliers, what do you want to do? Do you want to apply a log transformer? Do you want to apply capping IQR? Do you want to remove the outliers, or you just want to skip the column? You do not want to do anything. These are the possibilities which you want to do. So if I say I just want to do let's say remove outliers, I don't want the outliers, I'll just remove it. Great, it has removed the 46 rows from your data set. The outliers are removed for that particular column. The next is parch column. Again, same thing. What do you want to do? Let's try something else. I'll do a log transform. You do a log transform of the data. Cool. So it's saying that it contains non-positive value, so log transform cannot be applied directly. So that's why it is skipping it. Then for fair column, skewness and outliers, what do you want to do? I say capping IQR. So capping IQR has been applied. That is capping of the interquartile range. You cap it to a maximum value. You do not want to go ahead with the go near to the outliers, but you cap it at a certain value. Now it starts for the encoding feature, that the name column is there. What do you want to do with it? We saw there are a lot of people, there are different kind of people which are there, and we require different kind of encoding technique. For this particular agent, it supports only two encoding for now, that is one hot and label encoding. So I do not want to do a sparsity of my data set. I'll just skip this column for now. Then for the sex, of course, two or more than two, right? But cannot be very much. So I'll just do a one hot encoding for this one. So one hot encoding has been applied to the sex. And then encode the categorical feature ticket. What do you want to do? Should we do one hot? Let's do one hot. It might create the sparsity, but let's do it. Then same for the category feature cabin. What do you want to do? Let me skip this one. Just to demonstrate that all the features which is being introduced are working properly. Now it is asking about the embarked. I will do one hot encoding, even this one for also. So our all the transformation which he has been asked has been applied, and the final dataset has been saved into this file here. A new file has been created here of the value 22740, and this file has been saved. This is your CSV Excel file after data cleaning, data processing, that is after doing the complete analysis. So this was the task, that you just give an Excel sheet, and to save you from the initial headache, let the LLM does the analysis for you. Now I'm going to demonstrate about the code, but one thing which is very important to understand, is that we do not need to put LLM into each and every scenario. We should use the LLM's capability, that is its ability to understand the natural language, but we should also use our basics of machine learning, data science, pre-processing, and Python. All these techniques should be used, and after applying those techniques, we should empower those techniques by using agents. So what I have done, the complete analysis which is being done is Python coded. That is taking out the information from the data set, finding out if the data set is numerical or categorical, what kind of transformations you want to apply. Do you want to remove the outliers? Do you want to apply the transformation? In what scenarios do we apply that? So different scenarios are created, different classes I have created, and I have written that Python code, and it does the complete analysis, and all this analysis was embedded into a report file. The initial file which I showed you here, this is the report file. Where is it? Yeah, this report file, and you can see that it has plotted all the graphs also. Since this model which I'm using currently is not multimodal, it might not be able to actually visualize and understand these images itself. So that's why we are using the text data set. What you can do is you just can create the all the graphs of the analysis, and then simply just fed into the LLM if it is a multi-model, and it would be able to very successfully understand what the analysis is about and provide you the suggestions. But current model which I'm using is not multi-model, and these graphs I have created, but I'm not putting these graphs as input into the LLM. All I'm doing is feeding this report file itself. This report has all the things which is being generated into the images, the graphs. Graph is helpful for humans because it helps us visualize. We are able to understand the values better, and it helps us in analyzing the data sets better. But for large language model, both are same. It understands images, it understands natural language also. I have used the natural language capability here. This report which is being generated is being fed into the LLM. Now LLM has the ability to understand this thing same as we do, that when we start with a project, a data analysis project, we start with taking out all the descriptions, info, xyz things which I mentioned before, and then you analyze that what do you want to do next. Do you want to remove outliers, remove skewness? Is there histogram? Is how this histogram looks like? What is the count? Do you have missing values? Do you want to remove them or you should not remove them? So all those things are being suggested by the LLM. Okay, so this report is what is being fed into the LLM. Now this is the complete code itself here. Let me show you what LLM is doing. That is the most important part. Rest is just scenario based challenges, that what would be the scenario and what would you should do. If the user is asking to remove outliers, then it will follow up with that code. But let me show you with the agents first, the LLM analytics agent which we have created here. So this is our agent. If you can see here, these two are our agents. And in this scenario, we have two agents. First is the report analyst agent. What this agent is doing, the data analyst report analysis report analyst. That is, read and thoroughly understand the comprehensive data analysis report, extract the key findings, potential issues, and initial recommendations. That's what its goal is. And then if you know about CrewAI, we know that we have to provide some sort of backstory to that agent for it to understand that who is he and what kind of task does he need to perform. So here we say you are an expert data scientist with keen eye for detail. You excel at synthesizing complex data analysis, reports into concise, actionable insights. Your goal is to prepare a clear summary for non-technical stakeholder. And then the second agent is action suggester. That is what kind of action you want to do, you should do. That is on basis of the analysis being provided by this agent. So the role here is user interactions and action suggester. What is the goal? That based on the analysis report summary, interact with the user to propose the next step and gather their preferences or further data transformation or exploration which they want to do. Simple. भाई कि आपको क्या करना है, आपको कौन सा एनालिसिस लगाना है. जब when what we do normally is we learn from the data set and then we decide what we want to do. And what is the backstory here? You are a friendly and intuitive AI assistant specializing in guiding users through data analysis workflows. You can translate technical findings into plain language and offer clear choices for actions. Your aim is to empower the user to make informed decisions about their data. Cool. This is very easy. That's what these agents are doing. This text simply explain them itself. That you first analyze जो report बनाया है उसको analyze करो, फिर उसके बाद में you suggest us the actions. Simple. And in CrewAI, when we are creating the crews, we need to define the tasks also. So what this task is, for the analyze report task is for the report analyst agent. What's his task? That read and analyze a comprehensive data analysis report, the report file which I've showed you, and extract the following things from them. Key findings from the initial data overview, summary of the missing values, summary of the duplicate rows, insights for numerical and categorical feature distributions, observations from bivariate analysis and correlations with the target, any explicit transformation recommendations made by the previous agent in the report, and format the output as a clear, concise summary suitable for presenting to the user. Key, हमें key findings दे दो, give us the missing values and recommend the handling, summary of the duplicate rows कि उसमें duplicate rows है या नहीं है, insights from numerical and categorical feature distributions कि क्या है उसके अंदर, skewness है, outliers है, cardinality है, क्या चीज़ है उसके अंदर, ये पूरी clarity देगा उसको. And then observation from the bivariate analysis and correlations with the target कि bivariate analysis करेगा, correlations देखेगा target से and उससे क्या observations आ रहा है. And any explicit transformation recommendations made by the previous agents in the report. कुछ previous transformations में अगर कुछ any explicit transformation recommendations made by the previous agents in the report कि इस previous report में जो उसने generate किया है अगर किसी उसने तो क्या recommend किया है, उसने imputation recommend किया है, encoding recommend किया है, class imbalance recommend किया है, whatever is being recommended in the code, you just tell me. So that's what we have to, that's the task for this particular agent. And what we're expecting, a markdown summary of the data analyst report, including key findings, issues, and initial recommendations. Okay, let me have a sip of water, guys. So I hope you are able to understand this. Nice. ठीक है. Then second is the propose action task. Propose action task will be done by the action suggester and it is waiting for the input of the analyze report task. कि यहाँ से जो report आएगा वो report ये इसको पहुँचेगा, उसके बाद में ही ये propose action task, that is this agent will start executing and ये task execute होगा, because ये हम लोग sequential में रखते हैं. We want the output from the other agent to be fed as input into this agent itself. So based on the comprehensive data analysis report, summary provided by the data analysis report analyst, and consider the original data frame which is there, which has this many rows and columns, and the problem is this type and the label column is this type. So we are taking the initial three inputs. If you remember that you just provide the data set and then is it a classification problem or a regression problem, or what is the label, what do you want to predict, what you're trying to classify, or you want to predict any value in the regression. Then present the key findings and recommendation from the report summary to the user in a friendly, easy to understand manner. Propose concrete next actions that user can take, specifically focusing on applying the recommended data transformation. Frame your suggestions as a clear question to the user. Example, based on this analysis, would you like to proceed with applying the recommended transformation to your data? Example, handling missing values, encoding categories, scaling features. Please apply transformation or script transformation. All those things which we have seen. And then do not offer the choices like exploring specific feature or generate more visualizations, because we are utilizing the core concept of LLM to understand the natural language, but the backend code can be huge, because when we are doing the analysis, there are a lot of techniques which can be fed into the into this kind of data preprocessing which we do. It depends on task to task. Most of the standard practices which we do, which we follow, removing skewness, outliers, all those things which I have covered, I have written down the code for that. But if you want to embed more as per your requirement, you definitely can, in the same class which is there, you can write up the code and introduce your own techniques, so that you just put it down once, that the transformation techniques you want to apply, or the any specific techniques which you want to apply, you have your own concept of applying different techniques. You just write up that code itself, and then it will give you the output, which you just use this agent, and this LLM will just fed that, okay, the user wants to execute this. You go ahead and call up that particular set of code itself, and then it will execute that. So this, when we are using the capability of LLM and the set of Python code, we are empowering the LLM. I'm repeating myself, we are empowering the LLM, because LLM can hallucinate, right? So if, and suppose it doesn't actually execute the task which is supposed to perform on the data set. We ask it to do a different kind of transformation, but it does different kind of transformation. To save ourselves from doing that, what we are doing here is we are applying a technique that you provide a specific set of method which needs to be performed, and let just LLM decide what needs to be done, like what we do, that we decide what needs to be done on basis of our understanding. And then the technique, of course, we have the methods, we know the Python, the code, same, the code execution block is being passed to the LLM, and it will execute that code. Simple and easy. So this will also make sure that it is performing in unidirectionally without failing, right? And then you just create your crew. These are the two analysts which the agents which we have created: report analyst and action suggester. And then analyze the report task and propose action task, and then you're doing it in a sequential way, and all the logs is being logged into this file. And if you want to see the code itself, initial class was created for the crew leader for initializing it, and then this is for taking the input values from the user, and then orchestrating the analysis, that if user, as I mentioned earlier, what kind of analysis you want to do. First, what I hear it is doing is that you're calling the data profile cleaner class. So data profile cleaner class is doing all kind of analysis, that is uh, descriptive statistics for numerical, descriptive statistics for categorical, and then checking out if there are any duplicates or not, removing the duplicates if it has removed, and then what is the shape of the data after removing the duplicates. So all kind of data analysis which we normally do, that is being done in the data preprocessing. This particular class here itself, the data profiler cleaner class. So you just initialize that, and then it once this all the once this cleaner class has done its job, it is being appended into the report which is being generated, and then initializing the EDA and the reporting agent, and then executing all those tasks, and finally creating a report, that is comprehensive data analysis report. I'm appending all the transformations which has been done as uh, after one task is finished and another task starts. Whatever output has come, you just append those information into the report file, and that report file finally you put it into the LLM. So that is all about this particular agent, data analysis agent. I hope you liked it, and if you have any queries, please feel free to put down into the comments, and I would surely be replying to that. And if you have your own idea where you want to build your own agent, for your own use case, you can just put down in the comments, or you can fill up the form link which I will be providing it. It's just a Google form. You just need to type down your name. What would you like to call your agent? Because it's your personal agent, would you like to call it Jarvis or something else? And then what is the description about it? Like, give me an explanation of the agent, what the agent will be performing, and then I'll execute that task for you. So this is for this particular scenario. This is what your data analysis agent is. I'm pushing this code into the GitHub repository. The GitHub link also you can find in the comments, and you can go ahead and check out that. Just to remind you, this series is being followed up from the Instagram, and all the updates regarding the new agents which will be generated, which I'll be creating for you, for the users, all the updates are available on the Instagram. So you can go ahead and check out the channel itself, and then follow it to be updated of the future agents which I'll be creating. And if you have any queries, feel free to DM me in Instagram, or put down in comments. I'm all yours. All right, so I'm done with my first stream. Thank you, all of you. Uh, yeah, I'll see you in the next stream. Let's see what is the next big agent we want to create, and what is the requirement for the people. Adios.